Oh,
Just as you
I
just had a
will
dream.
be back momentarily, hopefully after the recap.
yeah, I'm going to recap right now. You're
You have a
perfect time.
dream that
Wrong song. These are very intense songs. Wow. This one I wanted. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. We'll go with the basic one. In the last session, our group officially got off of the Crescent Tide. Waited a few hours, spoke briefly with the other Alexi,
Yeah.
whose name will haunt me because of of just the circumstances of this. Sorry, a light nibble for me. You caught a transport cart back to Visix. Spent the better part of a week relaxing once again. You met with... I should move to the city map. You met Marlon's family. You were greeted by a gentle winter. Some of you took much needed showers and relaxation. Some of you went to therapy. Some of you went back to work. All of you, however, at least, most of you at this point, rather, I say chance all of you, most of you, because we only had about half you here at the time, noticed that they were being observed, possibly even followed by individuals. For how long, it was uncertain. They were first spotted on, like, the 6th day of your return back here. I believe the most concerning one that was later linked by Jaleel was the people observing the Moby Dick, Marlon's family restaurant. Alexi had seen someone way down the alley observing them while they were working. A person that then walked off after being reasonably noticed. At the same time, Jaleel ventured to Old Town to meet with Darwin Awase, an information broker of the city. After some coercion and seemingly good favor being stood up for Jaleel Marlon, Darwin told Jaleel that to answer a very important question, yes, their group, or rather, when asked to keep prying eyes off the group, he was told that there already are prying eyes on the group, and they can't really keep them at bay because, to quote his words exactly, there are very big fish at play. Jaleel then ventured back toward the Moby Dick alongside Marlon, who had been trailing him, to spend some time recovering and relaxing. It was in this brief bit of a respite as night began to close in, did Marlon get a phone call, one that was addressed to him, but that came specifically to the phone of his family's restaurant, the kitchen phone. It was a call asking, on behalf of Cronin, to meet at the Captain Jesper exhibition hall in 2 hours and to bring everyone. A conference call was had. Alexander was the first one to arrive, already living in the area. The rest of you arriving roughly half an hour after her. When you approached the hall, the usual guard that even Alexandra knows would typically be here, as this is still a government building, there are still people that work at night to protect the building. There was no one. And instead there was a singular, wool cap, coat-wearing figure crouching by the front door, smoking a cigarette, who, upon you all explaining who you were briefly, took you all inside through the dark exhibition hall to the back room, the private kind of viewing area, or I guess like private showroom. When you all were in, the doors were closed behind you, the escort venturing back out, and you were greeted by not Vincent / Cronin or any of his team members, anyone you all were familiar with, except for, of course, Jaleel, who realized the person before them was Darwin Awase, the very same information broker, who then revealed he was paid to bring you all here. And it's as far as his job went, and that his people were indeed the ones watching you all, for reasons he did not divulge. However, he did say that he had some very pertinent information for your group, should you have the currency to pay him for it. Jalil offered 5 of those coins to Darwin, to which he only took, I believe was it 2 or 3? I think it was 2, right?
I thought he only took 1.
No, you offered him 5, I think he only took like 2 or 3 of them. Can you, I've heard the exact
Oh,
exact
just
number.
right now here?
Well,
Yeah.
When you offered the coins to Darwin for the information, I forgot if you took 2 of the 5 or 3 of the 5. Regardless, you took...
When I offered him for the information?
At the very end of the session.
It was
yeah.
1.
No, that was earlier. I'm talking about the very end of the session when...
What, in the ambush? Right
Regardless,
now.
he took a small portion of what Jaleel was offering and said, "This will help you in what's to come. I recommend you just don't resist." And around that time, Alexandra and Marlon began to notice shadows at the skylight and footfalls rapidly approaching the doors to the room. The skylight was latched open and swung to the top. The doors were breached, and a large number of PSO security specialists entered the room with hands on their batons at your backs. And that is where we pick up. An exact moment, as one of them looks to your group and says, "All of you, do not move. You are currently being detained." That's where we pick up. That exact moment. I don't know. Oh, I forgot. Char can't talk. She said a type. If you're gonna type it up, if anyone sees Char typing in the chat, just relay me what she says, please. Because I can't check the Discord and monitor the recording at the same time, or my document at the same time.
If she's typing in Discord, I can check that on my phone.
Thank you. I will ask, of course, what you all do in this moment, if anyone has anything to say or they want to do, as they have just come to the door and you were told that you're being detained.
I throw my hands up and break it down.
They all draw guns and kill Marlon instantly.
I mean, yeah, he's black.
Let's go. I'm finally free. I am still actually throwing my hands up.
I mean, all they're saying is we're being detained. They're not ordering anything else.
Nope. They're walking until you're being detained, and they all begin to kind of semicircle your group and begin to pull out manacles and handcuffs.
I put my hands up.
I'll just hold my wrists out.
Did Char say anything? I can't check.
What exactly
Wait.
are we being detained for?
He will say that there are currently 3 charges against your group that will be detailed to you on the transit there. I'll just, of course, relay them now as you guys are being walked. They're being detained for conspiracy, impeding justice, and I forgot what that one is. It's like an accomplice, accessory to a crime. And it will explain in detail that conspiracy, at least this is being correctly between you from the PSO, conspiracy for Attempt to meet with a known criminal. This looks like a small notepad. Cronin fellow, seemingly being connected with this individual on a personal basis, cooperating with said person of interest, and impeding the capture of this person by not providing information prior to your detaining.
Doing what prior to her detaining?
Impeding justice by not providing any information regarding this individual to the PSOs prior to this moment, pretty much. Which they're saying is you impeding justice in their attempts. Currently, of course, these are just... You're not... I cannot say for certain whether you are guilty of this, but the time you are being detained for the investigation. These charges against you weren't enough for us to bring you in for questioning and holding, and we'll be doing as such.
Out of character, they're just trying to scare us to get us to reveal any information we have.
Who is the? This is actually Marlon talking to. Who's the? Assuming detective of this case. I don't know what the actual rank name would be.
This...
Who's in charge of this operation?
I am uncertain, but I can assure you that where you're going, they will explain to you further details. However, there is no lead investigator. This is being held by a specific committee of some sort, I'm told, regarding this entire investigation surrounding Cronin, the robberies, and now your group. It is one large collective investigation that is being held by a small committee.
Okay, would I know this to be a normal thing for the PSOs?
For them to not know, or for there to be a committee for things like this?
A committee for things like this?
For small time things, usually not. A committee usually only happens when it's like government centric. I mean, of course, the robbery of the gallery would technically have a government sanctioned thing. However, a committee usually involves people of higher authority in the city being involved in investigation, because they have to allocate more assets to the investigation as opposed to just being like one branch. So it's normal only if it's a really, really serious event.
I'm also noticing something, by the way. They keep using, alias Cronin and stuff like that, and they keep saying your group. They don't know who the fuck we are. At all.
That's the point.
Yeah.
They shackle you all, begin to quietly lead you outside. Getting outside, previously Alexander rolled a check to just take in the surrounding area and saw nothing out of the ordinary. And it's because there are a number of steam carts that are outside that were parked there previously that now have PSOs in regular attire kind of sitting in them by their side of them, just looking around, keeping the perimeter check right now as you're being let outside.
Quick question, Gabe.
Yes.
Do any of them look familiar?
Go ahead and roll me either intelligence or wisdom.
And I can get a bonus from using my eyes?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You get a bonus because you're using your eyes?
That is my whole thing with my character is that I'm a lookout. Straight up.
I'm gonna take your eyes away.
Woo!
93. Hold on, let me roll the bonus. 96.
No one here looks familiar. These are all just run-of-the-mill specialists for security. You see they have a handful of like medically focused PSOs here as well, just in case there's an injury. They're kind of standing by, but seeing as no one has come out injured, they begin to all kind of pack their things back into their vehicle.
Hey, would I notice any of them from being one?
I'll say you can roll me intelligence or wisdom with advantage.
I'm gonna need you to roll that for me.
Oh, phone boy, right.
Yeah.
Characters. Arlon. Stat.
The fuck is slamming in their background?
Oh, wrong thing.
That's Lex hanging up
I didn't mean
pictures.
to roll both. First one was low. Second one, you rolled a 7 and an 8. Holy shit!
All right.
Is it 6
Oh,
plus 1 or
sorry,
7
you're
plus
banging.
1?
Else to roll for me.
Looking about, it is already, in fact, by it being dark as it is already, most of them are, of course, wearing like big winter coats, and some of them have like scars wrapped around their mouths to kind of block parts of their face from the wind and the snow. None of them look familiar, not even from the visible badges you can see on any of them.
And all of them do look like real PSOs. None of them look fraudulent.
I will tag this in with Alexi's previous role. They all look like they know what they're doing. They all look like they're official security specialists that are here for the detaining of your group.
Hmm.
You all are led down the stairs, or down this kind of the path stairway from the exhibition hall. Darwin is walking like kind of down as well, parallel to your group and off in a different direction. One PSO is kind of accompanying him, writing something down as he talks. And then he looks like to a supervisor and points to Darwin and shakes his head no, and Darwin keeps walking. The PSOs lead you to a trio of steam carts and begin to split your group amongst them all. They put 3 in one, 3 in another, and 3 in the final, and then slam the door after each person's put in there, repeating it until every vehicle is closed. And after a few, like maybe 2 to 3 minutes after you're in the back there, driver and a passenger both get in, and you begin to drive off. I will hide your tokens actually now, because you guys don't know where you're going.
Hold on, before they start to put us in the car, I do want to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to look at the nearest PSO. It's kind of like pushing me into the car. What is the charge? Eating a meal? Eating a succulent Visix meal?
Oh my goodness.
It was like I'm pretty sure that the person inside told you your charges, but if you'd like to hear them again, I can relay them to you. Can you give like kind of pat around for like a piece of paper or something like that on this person?
No, it's from a story I read. It's just trying to be funny.
Please get in the vehicle, sir. He begins to open the door for you.
Okay. I just go in.
But as you all are entered there, any of you wish to talk, you're welcome to. Actually, this is where I gotta do my little thingy thing.
Shut the fuck up.
Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll count Jose as 7. So I'm gonna do it this way. Car 1 will be Alexander. No, car 1 will be. Sorry, car 1 will be. Yeah. Marlon. And Yuri. Car 2 will be Jaleel and Alexi. Ooh. I should do Marlon and Drew for car 1. I know Jose's not gonna be here. I'm gonna tag Drew onto car 1 with you guys as well.
No, don't put Drew in the...
It's Marlon, Drew, and Yuri in car 1, Jaleel and Alexi in car 2, Cosmina, and Alexandra in car 3. There you guys go. So you know who's in your car with you.
Gotcha.
But if anyone has anything they should say, you're welcome to talk any character now, as you are kind of behind almost like not like a privacy window, but like a taxi cab has, like a thin piece of like plastic between the back seat and the front seat. They got like a sheet there and like a small like mesh screen to keep me able to reach up front.
Like a cop car has.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's correct.
Like what is in every cop car?
Yeah. Yes. Anything they wish to say to their associates in the vehicle, you're welcome to do so, as you do have like 2 or 3 minutes before you are, or at least before you are joined by the PSOs.
Do they take our stuff?
Glad you asked the question. They do indeed. They take them. I mean, each car takes your stuff and puts them in the trunk of their own vehicle. So all you have is in the vehicle still, but they do take your stuff. Like car one, Marlon, Drew, Yuri, all your stuff is in the trunk of one vehicle. Julian and Alexia, your stuff's on the trunk of your vehicle. You watch them take it from your pockets and put it in there. Of course, you have your clothes, but like your money, all that stuff is in a bag that they put away, and they kind of do like a piece of tape and like write your name on there and strip it on the bag and then put it back in there.
The funny part is all the stuff I had on my person is exactly what you'd expect a fisherman to have on their person.
A knife.
A knife, a machete for, hacking fish, that type of stuff. A tent is the only thing that's the weird part, but sometimes you need to have a tent.
Well, if nothing they wish to say, you are joined in the vehicles by your driver and their passenger. They move through the city streets. It is the clock forward by the time you are fully attained. It's about 9:40.
Do I recognize where we're going at all?
Are there any city lights above the city streets?
There are. It's not like
City what?
pitch black. Say that again. It's not pitch black. Let me roll intelligence. Oh damn, Marlon! You got, and then instead of an 80, so you already, I said you got a 7 and 8 last time. You got an 88 and 89 this time.
Why is he rolling?
One above each time with advantage. I have no fucking clue, but
No, he's rolling privately.
oh, right,
Because Gabe's rolling it.
My fault.
Yeah, I have a laptop, but it's my work laptop, so.
You are the most you can gather from your bearings is you're heading west right now in the city. That is the most you can gather about your direct headings. That you guys are going west right now.
Would I know of any
You would know
possible former spots that they could take us?
there is a station that it is downtown. But you can surmise it'd be going east that way. They're taking you to probably somewhere different, most likely. You can assume. You're not sure where exactly because you've never been like involved in like events this large with the PSOs. Granted, there aren't many events this large that involve the PSOs, so
Okay.
unfamiliar to you. But you're at least heading west, possibly veering even a little bit southwest, if anything.
Okay.
After about 20 minutes, roughly, of driving, you hear the radios and all the carts begin to buzz, and you all hear kind of a voice crackling through, seemingly a call being given to all the different vehicles that just says, new procedure for the detainees you're transporting. Due to prior security risks surrounding government transportations, you are to deliver your cohort to the psychiatric clinic and penitentiary for holding until a considerable escort can be established for prolonged or frequent travel.
Psychiatric?
It's a joint building. The clinic and the penitentiary are a joint building, from your knowledge.
Oh.
It's part of the like rehabilitation thing. Is the penitentiary? You go from the penitentiary to the clinic, and then from the clinic back into the world after rehabilitation. Is the whole purpose of those two buildings being conjoined. The PSOs that are driving your carts or in the passenger seat kind of give each other affirming nods. However, Cosmina and Alexandra, one of your PSOs kind of looks at the other one for like a look of like acknowledgement for a second there, puzzled. Another one kind of gives them a slow, uncertain head nod for a second there. And then you continue to drive for another 15 or 20 minutes. You would know, Marlon's previous role, where the clinic and penitentiary are. They are located in Old Town. So you at least be able to gauge that that's probably where you're. I mean, if you were told that's where you're heading, but you can surmise that you'll be somewhere in. I mean, I don't think you worked at the penitentiary, so you wouldn't know the exact address, but you would at least know that you were heading somewhere into Old Town to this.
We never did specify what I ever did as a PSO.
I mean, you seem like you're an investigator of some kind, so that's why I assumed you were just an investigator.
Fair enough.
The steam coach drive for another 15 to 20 minutes before they stop. You cannot see where you are, but you faintly see a long driveway before you. The PSOs exit to the doors of your vehicle. They swing open and bright light shines into your eyes from the lamps resting only a few feet away. You are gently pulled out and find yourself standing on a cobbled road before a large staircase leading up to the sizable psychiatric clinic of Visix. There is a doctor and a pair of nurses at the top of the staircase looking down at you, and they wave the PSOs to bring you forward. Taking your surroundings, kind of glancing about, you see your associates being pulled from their vehicle as well. And then it clicks to you that it's just one vehicle. You rotate to look around you. And finally, one of the three vehicles you had really left the hall with alongside your own, the third cart carrying your other companions, namely Alexander and Cosmina, is nowhere to be seen currently. And the PSOs begin to guide you up the stairs and toward the interior. Cosmina and Alexandra. As your eyes adjust to the light, you notice very distinct bits of information. First is that yours is the only steam cart at this location. The other two are nowhere to be seen. Second, you notice hedgerows, a well-maintained lawn, a fountain, and a large mansion or estate before you. You do not appear to be at any sort of clinic or penitentiary that you've seen or heard of before within Visix. Lastly, what the to be taken as the glare of the light begins to subside is there is a man walking down the staircase of this kind of front entry area coming to greet you. Not in any sort of medical attire or accompanied by any doctors or nurses. Instead, he's wearing a fine suit and is accompanied by, well, no one. It's just him coming the stairs currently. Cosmina and Alexandra, you immediately recognize who this person is. As he stops before you, the two PSOs kind of give a warm, tight-lipped smile as Orion Honorsworth nods his head in both your directions.
Oh.
Gives you a very tight-lipped smile, Cosmina, and to you as well, Alexander, and a curt nod. And he speaks plainly out to the collective of you. Mainly speaking to the PSOs. You can guess he's mainly speaking to the PSOs currently. You did well, but it's unfortunate that our suspicions were correct. The PSO, we saw them deviate from standard procedure, and we heard the radio orders come in. Something seemed off from that ambush you mentioned, sir. Thank you for tipping us off. And Orion responds in tandem. Remember to keep this on the low. While I have the interlock investigate this scenario. Stay on station nearby my estate. We may need your assistance with security when they learn what we've done. We cannot let this estate's authority be challenged before proper assistance is allocated. They both stand a bit taller and nod. The curt, sir. Orion places a hand on both of their shoulders, pats them, then turns to walk away. Bring them inside. I prepared the guest suite to securely hold them. And the two of you are led up the stairs toward the interior. We jump back to those at the clinic. Jaleel and Alexi.
Mm-hmm.
You two are now inside the clinic, venturing down the main hall, jolted down a different hallway away from where the others are being led. One of the two nurses that was accompanying the doctor, who was previously with you all, is now leading your small entourage down this other pathway. For Marlon, Drew, he's not here. For Marlon and Yuri, for that case, one of the nurses accompanying you, you watch, heads off down a different hallway, taking with them Jaleel and Alexi. The doctor grabs a clipboard from a nurse's station as he is handed to him and begins to read over it as he walks. You three, I say three because Drew, are taken to a quieter wing of the clinic, one where the shouts and voices of the disturbed or the traffic of the staff is prevalent. 3 cells. This is for Marlon and Yuri and Drew. 3 cells opened, and each of you are kind of pushed gently inside before the door slams shut and is locked with a chunk. The doctor calls out, "I'll be back to do your preliminary evaluations within the hour. There'll be plenty to do, so please rest. Getting situated here will make time pass all the quicker, I assure you." And the footsteps begin to recede as he talks with the PSOs and his nurse, and they leave you all to the silence of this isolated wing. Back to Jaleel and Alexi. The PSOs escorting you all behind this nurse are stopped by one of the large orderlies that hand paperwork over to them. The orderlies then speak with the PSOs briefly about protocol for handling unstable patients, they word it, and then the orderlies quickly push you to continue following the nurse, who has picked up pace again. The PSOs wait for a few uncertain moments, kind of watching you guys walk away, and then shrug and begin to walk back toward the entrance. The nurse leading you gets to a set of double doors at the end of this hall, unlocks them with a key, slides the shutters open, and in front of you is an empty, chute, elevator shaft, where a lift would be. She walked to a nearby kind of phone and begins to kind of dial a number into it, kind of doot doot doot,
Boop, 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 boop.
and then puts her back to you and the orderlies and begins to talk to someone in a hushed tone. The call only lasts for a minute before she hangs up the phone and stands off to the side of this shaft, this lift chute. Jalil and Lexi only wait for about 5 minutes or so before the machinery of the lift starts whirring, and another 2 minutes before the lift arrives at your floor. A man adorned in doctor's garb lifts the metal shutter of this lift from the inside and ushers you all to enter. The nurse immediately paces in. The orderlies kind of shove you two into the elevator, or into the lift. The doors are closed, the shutter drawn down, and a button is pushed, and the lift begins to descend. You descend for 2 minutes before the lift stops, the shutter is lifted, and a thick metal door is unlocked by the doctor before being pushed open, and you're greeted by a long, dimly lit hallway with a single nurse's station in the middle. The hallway splits just in front of the station, going left and right, and then also bends at the end of the hall.
This doesn't feel like This doesn't feel like a jail. This feels fucky.
The doctor looks to you and says, "Take them to the far corner. We don't want them interacting with the others before we begin the examinations." And he turns to you with a slight smirk and goes, "Welcome to your new home. Together, we will unlock the secrets of the mind and fix you right up."
Oh, no!
Go back to those of you upstairs in the clinic. The quiet of the wing of the ward is so utterly deafening that the sounds of shuffling feet in the adjacent rooms can be heard through the walls. There is little you can do but wait, caged and trapped.
Who's all up here?
This is Marlon and Yuri. They're in the clinic. You guys are somewhere underground right now,
Okay.
below the clinic. You are alone with your thoughts, but near enough to your companion that at the very least, you should be able to speak with them if you're willing to at least shout through the small slit in the doorway. So Marlon and Yuri, you're welcome to speak for the first time if you guys wish to after being put in here. Your manacles, of course, were removed for the two of you before you put in here. And you're in a small, padded cell with a bed, a sink, toilet, and that's about it.
Turn it.
So Marlon and Yuri, what would you two care to do in this moment? If you wish to speak
Makes-
at all, you're welcome to, of course.
Make some jankum.
I'm gonna splash some cold water on my face.
Right on. Is Jay here? Did he walk away?
No, I'm here.
Oh.
No, Marlon's just gonna chill. There's nothing else you can possibly do but wait.
Sorry, what was the question?
What?
What was the question? Sorry, sorry, my mom walked in immediately after you started talking.
There was no question.
Oh, what'd you say then?
I said Marlon's just gonna chill and wait.
Okay.
See, the trick is not to act crazy.
No.
A little over an hour passes. Actually, let me change the song, I guess, from this one. This one here. A little over an hour passes for the two of you before your door, Yuri, opens, and the doctor from before enters, a nurse at their side, and a clipboard of papers in their hand. On this one. As he enters, he goes, "A pleasure making your acquaintance." Looks at the clipboard. You are, I believe, Yuri Rostova. Took a while to get all the files on you. Apologies. And sorry for the delay. Let's start from the beginning. Do you know why you're here, exactly?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, let me rephrase this. Do you know why you are here in this clinic, particularly, as opposed to being held elsewhere?
No.
Right. He flips like a few pages, it kind of makes everything over. Okay. You, and this, at this point, at a certain point in time, Marlon, you'd be getting the same spiel, but we're going to start with Yuri. However, everything I'm saying right now is the same thing you're going to hear when he walks in your room eventually as well. He looks to you and says, "You are being evaluated to determine if you are of sound mind. This determination, by me, will give the security committee assigned to your case information and possibly evidence to decide whether you will remain in the city, be placed within the penitentiary, or be sent to Stoneglass." Does that make sense to you?
I thought that we were only here on charges that were not proven yet.
Looks to the nurse. She like grabs the clipboard and puts a page for him and points somewhere. Yes, correct. However, in the event you are found to be guilty of the crimes, I was told explicitly to ensure that your mental status is evaluated, and if it is found that you committed these crimes willingly and of sound mind, to determine whether you are capable of rehabilitation for the penitentiary or if you require a more severe punishment at Stoneglass.
Ah, I see.
Does that make sense? Apologies, I'm not informed of the whole situation. I'm just reading the notes I was given at the brief meeting I had with the PSO that brought you in here, as well as my own connection with the committee. So, I will ask, do you know why you were brought here exactly?
No.
Are you aware of the charges put against you?
I was briefly told what they were, but as we were being detained, it was a bit of a blur.
Alright. Well, you seem, at the current moment, to be of very sound mind, Mr. Rostova. You are very coherent with your discussions. And I do have here on file that you are, or at least formerly were, a doctor, professionally. I see you do more individual, holistic work of some kinds now, it looks like, or...
I work when I can.
I understand. I was told that you, and this is particularly by the committee, I'm not speaking on my assumptions. I was told by the committee that you, all you newcomers that were brought here today, might have some delusions about the events that you've been involved in, and that you may have some, I use the word loosely here, mad fantasies to explain the actions you've taken, and possibly those of one Eclipse, Cronin. It's a lot of names here for one person. I believe it is the Vincent fellow that you all are associated with, and I was informed that because of your connection with them, you may or may not have some sort of beliefs that might askew your thought process, or may have done so in the past. Is this correct, Mr. Rostova? Were you and your companions deluded by any means, or your minds clouded by any lingering manifestation of the mind or of your own psyche? Or do you believe you took all actions of your own volition?
Seems to be a very broad question for lots of different situations. I don't think I could answer it all in one go like that, especially for my allies.
Of course. For you, as an individual, Mr. Rostova, did you act in manners surrounding this Vincent Rowing fellow? Did you act around this person of your own volition, or were you coerced, or suffering some sort of mental affliction that may have led you to being involved in these situations?
No, I would not say so.
So
I was brought along the same as everyone else.
brought along. When you say brought along, you mean someone coerced you into these activities?
No, that is not what I said. And you seem to want me to admit to coercion, but I am not saying that.
I am simply asking you very basic questions. I would like you to have been coerced, because the alternative of you being a willing participant means that should I deem you of sound mind and you were not coerced, they will decide whether to send you to the penitentiary or to Stoneglass, where I will no longer be able to play a part in ensuring your mental well-being while being at those locations. I take the health of my patients very seriously, and I take the freedom and sovereignty of individuals very seriously, and if I could get you out of this place all the quicker, I'd be far more, what's the word for this? Predisposed. I'm more predisposed to assist you in leaving the penitentiary / clinic as soon as possible. But if you are not coerced and you are of sound mind, that is highly unlikely to be done. So yes, I am hoping it was coercion, but I am asking specifically if when you said you were brought along like everyone else, if you were coerced into being brought along, or if you chose to follow, because the word you would be looking for instead of saying you were brought along was you followed along with everyone else. Is that correct, Mr. Rostova? Did you follow along with everyone else?
At one point, there was a specific reason that everyone was, let's say, this. Give me a moment.
I can go talk
Because
to you.
it was very simple at first, but another reason started to occur itself the more I dug into the information.
You seem to a blank page, begin to pull his pen out, clicks it to start writing, and that would be.
Well, you see, are you doctor? Is that correct?
Apologies, Dr. Pedaleski. He points to
Dr.
the-
Petulescu.
He kind of like adjusts his coat that was kind of like ragged for a second there. I'll put the name in there.
Have I heard this name since I'm in the medical field?
He's. I would say actually yes. He is a very important doctor at the clinic. He handles most of, like, the East Wing part of the clinic, the first floor East Wing. He is respected for his care of patients, particularly. Some think he's a bit too soft on people, but that's about it. You can just from basic knowledge of who this person is. He's respected for his care of patients, but that's some think he's a bit too soft in his diagnoses and observations of them. Too willing to let people out before others would believe they are ready to be out.
I apologize. I did not recognize you from the name the first time. But now that you say it, you are very well known in the field.
I try to be known by patients that have successfully reintegrated. The fame is not why we do the job. At least why not do the job. From what I've seen your records, you as well. We do for the people, and that's all that matters. So I appreciate you recognizing me. I really do.
Yes.
But my fame is something I have to live with, not something I choose to embrace.
It is okay. You're only known so well because of the patients. It is your record of letting people, putting them in the better graces than most.
I do my best. I could wish I could say the same for my fellow associates here, who are more strict in their diagnoses of people and examinations, but I can only do what I can do in my wing. We'll pause with your conversation here with Dr. Pedaleski about any events. At the same, not the same point, but at a certain point in time, Marlon, you'd be asked the same questions. If, do you know why you're here? And were you coerced? Or under a mental affliction that made you follow along with the others? Like that. You'd be asked the same question, Marlon. And what would you respond to this if the doctor would ask you the same thing at some point in time?
Sorry, what?
The doctor would ask you, Mr. Othalamus, do you know why you are here?
Presumably, we are being suspects in whatever madness that the PSOs were elaborating about.
Primarily the case pertaining to one Vincent Rowing.
Yes.
You're particularly here in my room, or in my wing, to ascertain your mental stability, and if you were coerced, even unbeknownst to you, to follow along in any endeavors that might be the reason you were incriminated in the first place. That being said, were you coerced, or under a mental debilitation of some kind that might have led you to following along with the others and being involved in this situation with Vincent Rowan at any point in time? Or would you say you did this of your own volition?
I would say neither. I was more so hired.
Hired. So you are doing this for a job. At any point in time, were you privy to information that might have led you to believe the job would not be worth the risk in the eyes of law?
Say that one more time. It came out funky on my end.
Do you believe at any point in time you are aware of a situation that might have been frowned upon in the law? He's basically saying, did you, at any point in time while doing this job, did you realize that, like, this might be against the law and maybe I shouldn't do this anymore? Is basically what he's asking you.
For what I was doing, no. I was only looking for a man who was also trying to find this, what's he been calling him? Which fucking name has he been calling him?
Vincent.
Okay, Vincent.
Okay, understood.
I was hired to find a man because there had been no contact with him for quite some time.
I understand. Very well. I will be speaking with your friend Yuri as well about these events, and then I will come back to you all for a second speak to. Hopefully we have plenty of time for that. But I do believe that both of you are mentally stable individuals who show no signs of being coerced in this event, but there are some finer details I wish to pick your brain for that we shall get to in a couple of minutes. Give about half an hour or so to get a fresh notepad and some more information, and to see 2 other patients. And he gets up and walks out. Before we jump back to the estate, we'll jump back down to those of you beneath the clinic. Jaleel and Alexi, you glimpse nothing in this place. There are no doors. Oh, sorry, there are doors. Sorry, there are doors. There's the sounds of hissing steam behind some of them, whirring machines, and there's lights. Beyond that, the hallways are blank, and the doors are only marked with small placards above some of the frames. You are led around bends and down corridors, deep into this kind of basement subterranean area. The doctor humming quietly to themselves as they lead you forward, before suddenly he stops and points to Jaleel and smiles. Give me a second here, because I'm getting a fucking phone call.
I heard it vibrate.
Gabe, I just put another 50K in your account. Could
Never
you
mind,
send
the call
that?
is gone. He points to you, Jaleel, and goes, "We'll start with this one. Put the other away," and kind of just waves a hand in your direction, Alexi, and then begins to lead Jaleel down the right corridor while you were taking the left. You are pushed into a padded room with space enough for a short bed, a sink, and a toilet. There's enough space in this room to stand up, to sit on the toilet, to sit on the floor, and that's about it.
You talking to me?
Yes.
I'm gonna, for one, first thing, I'm gonna go pee,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna lay down.
As you're laying down looking at this room, you have keen eyesight. Were you to spread your arms out to full length, even while laying down in this room, you'd probably be able to touch both ends of this room with, like, space to spare, like your hands and fingertips. It is a very cramped and compact room. Why the
It's like
fuck?
it's like a ship's quarters.
Give me 30 seconds.
It's like being on a boat. Crap spaces.
What's happening? We in the cells?
I am. You got taken somewhere else.
Oh.
I think you're being questioned first.
Mm.
They're questioning us separately, which is, and specifically in different areas, which is very suspicious.
No. Nah,
I
people.
get a feeling
watch
they're
people
trying to
always
figure
do
out they're trying to figure out what we know, straight up.
that. Mm.
Like, and not like in a criminal way. They're trying to figure out what secrets we fucking know. That's the vibe. That's the vibe I'm getting.
I think you're on. Yeah.
Because why would they take us immediately to go for? If people are involved in criminal activity, straight up,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
first thing you're going to do is not look for mental things. You're going to charge them, and then if they seem to be mentally unwell, then you'll take them for mental evaluation. You don't start with mental evaluation.
Yeah, that
That
doesn't
makes
make a
no
lot of
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is. There is a connection to the, to the moon, right? If they know
Yeah.
about the moon stuff, I mean,
That,
we
that
and I
makes-
think we also have the context in game to know,
Yeah.
to be like,
And-
okay,
and that's why I think they know more than they're letting on. This is very much like the you know
Yeah.
secrets that you're not fucking supposed to type shit.
but right now we know that they know, or that they don't know that we know what they know.
Yeah.
Stop
Now, mind
trying to
you-
hurt yourself.
Mind you, keep in mind, I'm playing Alexi. I have the trait that essentially says dull.
Oh.
I'm kind of stupid.
Alexi.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
So you don't know. You don't know
they're
they
gonna get a
know.
lot of the answers of what's and huh.
Hmm.
And they're gonna get a lot of talk about my brother being a PSO.
Hmm.
Alexi knows boats and fishing. That's it.
They think we were with Cronin, though.
Yeah, they think
They
we
don't
were
realize.
with Vincent.
Yeah. Vincent, yeah.
Which is not true. We weren't.
Yeah.
Except for one time, and it wasn't even on this fucking continent. So.
Sorry about that.
We could get.
Why everybody's an urgent matter when I have to do something. Where was I? Jaleel, you were taken down the opposite hallway from Alexi. The doctor this time is quiet, no longer humming. He stops at a room, pulls a chain of keys around his neck with his shirt, unlocks the door, pulls it open, and gestures for you to enter. The doctor, as the door opens and you're ushered inside, Jaleel, without even needing a check to roll, has the most vile and detestable smiles you've ever seen on your face as he ushers you into the room. The orderly shoves you inside. Yes, it is a detestable and vile-looking smile on his face as you are shoved into the room. The room is dark. A single chair is illuminated by an overhead lamp. The darkness within this chamber itself is imposing. Doctor's voice calls out from across the room as you were facing inwards, kind of push deeper in. Have a seat willingly, please. And you can see the silhouette of the doctor waiting the doorway, a hand indicating the chair in the center of the room, kind of hanging by this light. The orderly stands just a foot behind you.
Then I stand.
Sir, have a seat willingly, please.
It's not quite. Oh.
Who the fuck was that? Chili was like, oh, they caught me. Oh yeah, I've been from it all the time, man. Innit?
If sitting was, if you wanted me to sit willingly, then I could stand. Yes.
No. I don't want you to be injured by the orderly, so I'm asking you to sit willingly, please.
I'll sit down.
The orderly. So this is the same with these are. If the PSOs are like, you know, think like average fucking like a football player or some shit. These are like fucking like powerlifting ass orderlies, like the big motherfuckers that were like brick shit house ass linebacker ass people that are in these small gowns that are and suits and shit. You sit down.
It's the insinuation.
The orderly kind of walks over, begins to strap like your arms to the chair. On a far wall, you hear a button kind of clicked in and pushed, followed by the clunking and chunking of something metallic overhead. A thin, like metal tube almost, no larger in diameter than a quarter, slides down from the dark to the ceiling as the light in the room is fully snapped off at this point in time. It comes just to a stop below the bridge of your nose. The orderly adjusts the tube's height to about level with you, and the doctor kind of coughs and paces behind you, clicking a button on the side of the tube and unfolding it to putting a small lens right in front of your eye. He slowly like cranks and turns this knob to adjust it to fit right over, like almost like right, like you know how like a glasses lens is. It's like right over your eye. This lens is like sitting like uncomfortably close, where blinking or closing your eye is uncomfortable. He kind of, while adjusting, just goes, all you need to do, sir, is observe and say what you think and feel. And your face is gently pressed forward a bit more before a strap is put around your forehead, and you're held there with your eye kind of stuck to this tube looking into it. As you peer inside, to either your surprise or shock, is a visage of the moon shining into your eye right now. And you cannot look away as this lens is again too close to blink or close your eye without extreme discomfort, your head affixed in place. The orderly stands within like an arm's length of you to your side, and you hear the doctor whisper in your ear, "This is only the beginning." We jump to the Honors of the State with Cosmina and Alexandra.
What?
You stand in the massive foyer of the Onworth estate. While the family may have homes and other places around the city for individual members of the household, from the pieces you gather, and namely from your own experience here, Cosmina, this is the crux of the family. This is the main house of the family. There are paintings and pictures of people, artifacts of Gassian and Mosin origin, and fine tapestry from across many generations. The tidy manor is beautiful and rich with history. History that you've seen almost your entire life, Cosmina. Orion strides up the stairs to the second floor of the manor, the estate. The PSOs guiding you along with him as he speaks. This time you can assume directed towards you. I assume, or I am certain you have many questions. You'll forgive my use of authority when I say that you must wait until I am ready for them to be answered.
Um, and how long will it take for you to be ready to answer these questions?
He exhales very slowly through his nose and does not respond. And you're led up to the second floor, then down a series of hallways,
Great.
twisting and turning until you're before a thick wooden door. Ryan enters a key into the door. It unlocks the click, and you're ushered inside. This room used to be a guest room, Cosmina, originally when you were here. However, entering it now, as you are released, you see there are a number of beds still in here. The window itself is covered by a large piece of sheet metal that's kind of been almost like vaguely affixed over the window to keep people from being able to just jump out. And there's an open door to the bathroom. As you are released inside the room, the PSO step back to Orion's side. He gives each of them an approving head nod, and then he goes, "Thank you. This room was modified to have no interior locks nor exits. There," and as you can hear, take in your surroundings, Alexander and Cosmina, he continues talking to the PSOs. "There's a guard that I trust more than anyone outside my family. They will manage security of this room. In the event of a crisis, only they or I will contact you regarding this matter. Now, if you follow me." And he gestures to the door. One PSO exits. Everyone lingers for a second until Orion exits, and then on the way out, they all begin to kind of filter. Orion looks over his shoulder to you, Cosmina, to you, Alexander, and goes, "We will speak momentarily." And then they exit the room, the door shuts, and a click is heard as it is locked. The two of you wait nearly 20 minutes, and if the two of you wish to say anything to each other, you're welcome to do so now, as you are both in this room with some privacy for about 20 minutes or so. So the floor is yours, Cosmina and Alexandra. If Liz is here.
I don't know if Cosmina says anything as much as like tries to like look to make sure that it's true that there's no like exit from this room.
Roll me intelligence or wisdom. I'll say your choice. What are you doing, Alexandra? While Cosmina's looking around the room.
I'd ask Cosmina if she trusts the person we're talking to.
This is my uncle, right?
That's your father.
That's my father,
Orion
JK. I mean, Orion's my dad, yeah.
Nathaniel is your uncle.
Nathaniel's my uncle. It's a lot of names. I mean, As much as you trust your own family, yes. Why
quite a bit.
he's in quite a bit. Why he's involved in this, I'm not quite sure.
I trust your judgment on this.
Let's hope it doesn't. Fuck us. I got a 68.
68. All right. Put some. With a 68, this guest room only had like that one large bay window, and it looks like it's been very properly like paneled over with this metal sheet. It is very much blocked over. You'd have to spend some time prying at it or peeling it off to be able to access the window again. The door, you look at the locks, the door lock has been changed from, being a two-way lock to being just like a flat back side on the end of the door, on the inside of the doorway where your room is, and on the outside you have the key lock, of course. Bathroom has like a small ventilation shaft, but beyond that, like when I say like one of those like floor wall, like those lower floor vents, like one of those, and that's about it. There is no other exit in this room beyond the door and the window. And even then, you are on the second floor of this estate, which itself is on an inclined hill.
Yeah, it's massive. Interesting. And this all looks like this isn't something that could have been done like within the hour or two that it took for us to get arrested. Like, this looks like it's been like
This had to have been prepped.
prepared.
It had to have been prepared, yeah. How long it's been prepared is a bit hard to gauge, but to get the new locks done for your family could be done in a day if they really wanted to hasten it. So it could be ranging from being a day to being a month, you'd assume, for everything to get fully set up like this. Anywhere in that range.
Okay. But it definitely wasn't like it wasn't a thing where like we got arrested and
No.
they had to prep the room. Like, the room was already okay.
Yes. And the two of you wait for nearly 20 minutes before two sets of footfalls approach the door. With a click, the door swings open in the same instant, giving almost less than a second of delay. A hulking, nearly 7-foot tall man bursts into the room and takes a very defensive posture surrounding the door before noticing you in the room, Cosmina. This, if you recall, was the large former hound that your family now employs as the bodyguard. He postures in front of the door defensively, sees you for a second, kind of lowers his shoulders a little bit, relaxing, before Orion slowly walked into the room behind him, placing a reaffirming hand on the large man's shoulder and goes, "It's quite all right, Jackson. We are not in danger amongst my daughter and her friend." He walks to a cushioned chair and sits. Jackson kind of remains by the door, but in a bit more relaxed posture as Orion begins to speak to the two of you. "A discussion is in order. Alexandra, Cosmina. He gestures for you to have a seat on like a bed or one of the wooden chairs.
I'll go to sit on the bed.
Firstly, I would like to thank you, Alexander, for keeping my daughter safe all this time. You have been a very valued family friend to us.
Of course.
Where would you like me to start, the two of you?
From the beginning?
From the beginning. As you know, you maybe less so, Alexander, we do not speak of personal things all that often, but as you know, daughter, I have always been a man of history and culture, that of both Gaspillage and Eremos. I, in my passion, began to piece together some grand image. I would trace lines that came to sudden ends, doors that opened to nowhere, objects and places that hinted at something not recorded in any known place. The reclamation project that our family has been funding has always been a means to an end. To find the fragments of a shattered history and reclaim any sort of culture or truth that was lost or made for us to forget. And when I noticed these things, I found someone who also noticed these things. A person that you should be aware of at this time. The man of the hour, it would seem, Vincent Rowan. He noticed similar things that I did, and because of a shared intrigue, we became associates. When Vincent proposed a revival of Eremos on Earth, not only as an homage to the great expedition of the late Juniper Wild and the young Wesley C. Adams, but as also a chance to properly fund and secure items from Eremos, I saw an opportunity, the only one I'd get, to invest in my intrigue. I gave Vincent a very simple task. Take anything he needs from Honorsworth sanctioned digs. When he couldn't secure the large fines legally, he was given the go to create a team that could help him acquire them less than legally. Regarding this man of the decade, I have been funding Vincent since back when he was still a mirror to the young Juniper Wild, and I saw promise in him. With the Reclamation Project and his own Eremos Unearthed program working hand in hand, all things brought from Eremos would eventually end up in the one place we needed them to be. All we had to do, if we could acquire them in Eremos or through legal means, was to intercept them before they got there or steal them before they were locked away. As I'm certain you have ascertained, daughter, because you have been schooled well and you have always been gifted, is that a professor and an archaeologist could not hire two skilled teams on their wage, let alone maintain a third one like the one Vincent, I'm certain, still has. The person behind Vincent's entire operation has from the beginning been me, financially and in regards to information. The only wrench in our operation was the passing of Juniper. The family appraiser that, I'm told, friends of yours had the play in apprehending was Vincent's idea, since they could not rely on the good faith of Juniper and Vincent's mentor-mentee relationship, nor could he risk being outbid by the upper-class art connoisseurs of gaspillage. Mr. Guslev, the man that was arrested for trying to steal from the estate sale, was to secure the artifact that Mr. Wilde found in the sinking dunes and sell it to Vincent for only 2.5 times the initial bid price. We could not risk putting more money forward than that, or it would draw the attention of how someone who's not from high society acquired their funding. Vincent, to my knowledge, hired 2 teams, both as red herrings for the less observant people. One was to rob the cart and require the tablet that he has now. The other was to make a scene in the city and then flee to lower security at future shows to make this final theft easier. One team tried to do things their way and got caught, which still worked in our favor, but did lose us a possible asset that might become a liability in the future. There was one final task I had to manage after all of these strands were put in place for Vincent to tow along. I had to hire insurance that came in the form of an investigator named Norman Young, who would be able to cover the trail of Vincent by picking up the pieces and leaving nothing for others to trail behind. The best way to ensure all evidence is coveted is to trust a private investigator to follow a trail before anyone else can. Someone skilled at not only finding who I needed found, but also in ensuring no one else could do the same. I am uncertain as to what agreements or discussions Vincent and Norman had, but to my knowledge, Norman was not informed of anything before meeting Vincent directly. Which leads us to you all. We did not take into account friends of Norman, friends of the victims from the cart attack, and other peculiar folk digging deeper than they should have. And it's because you have dug as deep as you have that you are a threat to other powers that be in this grand game. Going further would lead you all to a fate possibly worse than death, and I could not allow that to happen before you and your associates knew the entire truth behind the forces at play, which brings you to this estate today.
So, did you know the entire time that we were looking for Vincent?
I did. And I wanted you to find him. You especially. Because I saw your passion behind this. And if I could properly allow your involvement through safer means, I wanted you to be prepared because you wanted to do this. You said it yourself when we talked before you left. And if you wanted to do something that would lead you to learning information that is cruel and unfair, like this conspiracy that Vincent, I'm certain, has told you of, then I want to give you every asset available to succeed, and that the best asset for you would have been Vincent himself. And I told him to ensure above anyone else that if you found him, your safety was tantamount to the success and our future cooperation.
I'm sorry, this is just a lot of information.
And there's much more. I had hoped that your other friends would have been here to listen to this but there is a limit to my outreach without drawing attention. I had spoken to 2 different security specialists that were to be assigned to this investigation by the security committee. And I'd hoped that they would have been the drivers of 2 of the 3 cars, and that I could have gotten at least more of you, if not all of you. However, you need to listen to a lot of this very carefully, and I assure you, both of you, there is still more to come to understand truly the beginning. The forces at play in this endeavor are, of course, myself and Vincent, and anyone who sympathizes with Vincent's goal. I consider them my allies. There is the Interlock, the leadership of Gaspiage and Visix, who do not know what is happening, but they would see everyone pertaining to Vincent and this event caught, questioned, and possibly locked away. This includes my brother, your uncle. He is unaware of my doings, but he, and to my knowledge the rest of the Interlock, want nothing more than this event to be handled. I can stall the Interlock because of your uncle. There is a 3rd party, one that Vincent dubbed the jailers that he learned of in his time in Eremos, that want everything to remain as it is, for people to remain ignorant, for the status quo to continue. We do not know who they are yet, and that is precisely why I am as concerned as I am about these things. And then there is... He kind of swallows hard and leans back in the chair, exhaling shakily for a moment. There's the voices in your ear at night, the headache that makes you lose train of thought, the madness that caresses and embraces, the sanity that's not me, the warden, as Vincent explained it to me, that wants silence, that sees dissent and change as betrayal, a silence that dooms and consumes, an unknowable thing that I often question if it's really there, or if I'm trying to make sense of things that are illogical. This insanity I might have, I cannot date back to when it first plagued me, nor if it is truly insanity at all. However, I know where my journey started, and it was long before I was born, and I need you to come with me to one place. He stands up and gestures for you to follow him out the doorway as he begins to walk out with the large hound Jackson at his side.
I follow. Does as I follow, on Jackson's face, is there any, like, is this news to him, or has he, like, heard this before?
Roll me wisdom or intelligence, if you'd be so kind.
Okay.
He does, however, give you a small smile as you walk by Cosmina, because he does know you personally. He's known you for a little bit of time now.
Yeah, it's not... It's like a 35.
35. It's hard to read someone as trained as Jackson. He keeps a very straight, stoic face before that smile comes to you.
Oh.
And as Alexander follows out, you in tow, You are led to a room where your father draws a key ring from his pocket, unlocks the door, pushes it open. You've been in this room before. This room you would know very well as his office, his personal office. You've been here many times. There is a semicircular office with a cushion leather chair behind a dark wooden desk, a large bay window concealed behind dark curtains, a bookshelf just beneath this kind of like almost bench window frame, and walls covered in objects. One half are objects from Gaspillage, the other half is objects from Eremos. They kind of meet in the middle above the window at the crest of the Arnsworth family. He will look to you as he looks at the crest, sits at the desk, and goes, "Long before even Jameson Arnsworth, your great grandfather, the world, I can assume, was different. I do not know how, but it was cruel. Crueler still to the ancestor that unwittingly set me on this path. There was a quote that has been passed down and would eventually either go to you or your brother in time. Has been passed down to the heads of families for generations, and it is meant to be an inspirational quote and a rite of passage for you to lead the family toward however you interpret this quote is what is believed to be how you should direct your life and lead the family. The quote is, 'With love, I trek through the cold and silent dark.' This one quote was spoken by an ancestor who abandoned.
I will catch you later.
Bye, Jay. Oh, damn, I get to your scene too. Alright, see you later.
Adios.
That means he's just Christian now. An ancestor who abandoned the family in pursuit of the very truth I now long for. Someone who came to Gaspillage from Eremos and brought with them tales of their struggle and fragments of their loss. And he reaches into a drawer behind the desk, pulls out a small wooden box, very ornate, opens it, and plucks out a small glass and gold coin from this cushioned box. He puts in the kind of holding his fingers. This ancestor had a family with sons from Gaspillage and then left. Only the quote in this item was left to remember them by. It is a sacred and important thing that remains in his family. He left behind. He points to an item on the wall, the one close to the crest on the Eremos side. That as well. It's a stone sheet, one you've seen, a similar stone sheet that you've seen kind of carved in that pyramid long ago. What you can assume to have been paper back then. He reads it, and it's not like he can, or not like you all can read the Mosin language, but he reads it out to you all while you look at the scrawling and just says, "Here I reclaim my soul, leaving as a man. With love I trek through the cold and silent dark." This singular quote has had many meanings and has led the heads of families to do many different things in its interpretation. My grandfather, Jameson, took it as a metaphor for the unknown. That the cold and silent dark was a symbol for uncertainty of human evolution and prosperity in the cruelty of an ever uncontrollably changing landscape, and that the unknown to him was the pursuit of harmony between Gassian sciences and Mosin alchemy. And for a historian, anthropologist like me, I took it very literally. And the thought of this cold and silent world enraptured me into deciphering what it meant. And no one has written about it ever. There are no scars left behind from a cold world. And I found connections in my early years to this top subject through Juniper Wild and a younger Wesley C. Adams, and most recently Vincent. He sits quietly for a moment and exhales. I wish everyone had been here, all of your associates. It's a lot to take in, and I'm certain you'll have to explain this to them in due time. Give them time to digest and process all of this, and then to decide. But I can only hope your associates find a means to escape persecution. But I will give you time to digest all this information and to ask me any questions you would like. We jump one last time. I'm gonna fuck with Tark and Mason later. So we're gonna jump one final time before we end the session over to just Yuri now, because you're the only one left now, Yuri. In your
Yeah, bye.
which means Yuri.
Uh-oh. Uh-huh.
The doctor would have spoken to you for about an hour in time, and you and I can divulge what you exactly explained to him whenever you want to. I mean, actually, what would you explain to him in that moment if you had time for it? We can divulge that later, of course, because I want to. We'll have to do that as a whole thing with you and everyone else here at the time when they get back here, when Jay is back again.
Well, by the end of it, I would have told him all of my red string connections on the moon altering events.
Alright, I'm having him roll a check.
I would have had so many pieces of evidence to tie it together, including the story we found at the bottom of the canyon.
He keeps a very neutral expression while he listens. As he's listening to your story, a nurse hastily walks up to the doctor and whispers into his ear. He stands up straight, eyes wide for a second, then he smooths out his coat, clears his throat, and goes, "Excuse me a moment, Mr. Rostova." He
Alright.
walks away, and minutes pass before your cell's opened again. The voice of the doctor can be heard out of sight as a PSO security specialist enters the room and stands in the corner. You hear the voice kind of echoing in the hallway. "I understand what the committee is ordaining, however, these are my patients. It is my job to ensure they are properly cared for." You can hear the voice, or rather, you hear a voice which I believe you may have only heard in brief conversation or in passing as it echoes through the quiet wing. Let me actually make sure I get the accent right before I fuck it up. Give me a second here. 30 seconds. Oh, people. Ow, my lip. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Where is his voice? Was he an old British man? Was he a young British man? He was neither. I'm stupid.
He was a Nazi.
You hear a voice you'd only heard in passing or in brief conversation echo through this quiet wing. Respond to the doctor coldly and calmly as he slowly rounds the corner to your cell. "No, doctor, they are criminals. They are to be managed as such." And round the corner, a figure who is a member of the Interlock, one who is just briefly with you in Eremos, is Wesley C. Adams. "Now, doctor, be reasonable and do as the committee has requested. I expect the transfer to be carried out once I am finished here." The doctor stammers angrily for a moment before exhaling, footfalls receding away. Wesley gestures to the PSO. "Wait with the others. This will be brief." And then he stares at you for a moment. PSO looks to you, looks back at Wesley, exits. The older man, who now stands wholly blocking the doorway, his voice and energy focused toward you, exhales loudly. what to do with you. You know, I should have assumed you were onto something when I saw you on that plane. Plane that Sky caught. But how much has the fool Vincent told you? And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh. Oh no. That's the guy from the tape.
Yep. I had a feeling. I was talking when you were on your phone call. I was like, these guys know shit. They wouldn't just immediately send us to a fucking psych ward if they didn't know shit. So
You were sent here by the security committee for your holding.
yeah.
What are you talking about? It's just...
Being called a criminal before proper prosecution.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know.
Crime.
What are the rights of criminals in this world, Gabe? Go ahead. Humor me.
It depends on what It depends on what the man charger committee deems appropriate. You'll find out next session when you talk to Wesley.
Well, apparently we're already criminals, so I think they already deemed it appropriate.
According to him, at least.
Yeah, but he's lording power over someone else under that assumption, which means
He's
it's not
strong.
just according to him.